Rocking and rolling start here. Not used to starting off the stream, as I told Clint I was going to start off the stream, and I forgot to plug us in. But we are here. We are live with you guys. Checking in for the Fighter Stonks, courtesy of Prediction Strike. Make sure you guys show Prediction Strike some love. Make sure you guys use the promo code LOCK when you sign up over there. And with a $20 deposit or more, they will give you a free fighter stock. Remember, Prediction Strike is the first and only stock market for sports. So not just MMA, but if you want to get into the gist of things, you got baseball, basketball, and football as well that you can buy stocks in on fighters or players of those sports as well. So yeah, we didn't get to do one last week. Obviously, was it last week or the week before that? The week before that, due to my wedding.
I'm sure it's all a blur for you at this point.
It is all a blur. I was just talking to quickly this week. Like June is not hell month for me, essentially, because it's just a lot of parties and weddings and all that. But everything's just getting a little blurred. And even tomorrow morning, I fly out to Saskatchewan to do it all over again with my in-laws and their side of the family over there in Saskatchewan. So I got a bunch of things to cross off the docket today, not to mention this. I'm also going to be doing propping you up with Cody later on this evening as well. So make sure you guys tune into the All-Star for that. But what this show or this segment is essentially about is Fighter Stonks. It's our Deadlock podcast segment that we have. If you guys haven't already checked out our podcast together, it is the Deadlock podcast. Links to the channel and social medias are in the description below. But on the off weeks when we're not doing that podcast, we're right here. We're dropping in to at least check in with you guys and see where our stocks or stonks are at, and if there's anything that we want to purchase or sell in preparation of the upcoming UFC event. So without further ado, I'll kick it off here and I'll throw in my portfolio so that we can look at. I do believe I have a couple guys that are, I think I have a couple guys competing this weekend. No, I do not.
Look at all that red.
I know it's been a while. Jared Gordon, Clinton Rodriguez, Alexander Rakic, Nick Maximov, and Ivan Kutilaba all taking losses in their last fight, so it doesn't really help out, but I do expect them to get another win or two bouncing back off of that. So I'm going to hold on to them and hopefully make some money off them before I actually end up selling their stonk. Yeah, the most recent fighter that I actually had compete was Movsar Evloev. Obviously, he got that big win over Dan Ige a couple weeks ago. But Clint, after running the tape, I'm going to go head-to-head with you here, my man. I got to go with my Magulov. You don't have him, correct? You have Guram?
I've got the other side. I've got Guram.
There we go. So I'm going to buy one stonk in Demir's Magulov here. He is at a shiny $1. And I would say this, and I said it in a couple of the breakdowns that I've already done this week, Clint. If him and or Guram Kutateladze were more active, these guys could be knocking on the door of that top 15. And I do believe that Magulov is definitely the real deal. He had a minor slip up in the first 10 seconds of his last fight against Rafael Alves, but since then, since that moment, he was able to rally back and have a dominant victory of his own that night. But I'm expecting to have him another dominant victory here against Guram Kutateladze, who I'll leave it to you to hype him up when we swing it on over to you, because I know you're going to show him up in your portfolio. But I think Demir is the real deal. I think he's on an 18-fight winning streak, 23-1 professional record, former M1 global champion as well, and he can get him for $1 right now. One single buckaroo, $1.
Very talented.
Going on that, and I believe that is the only stonk I am going to purchase this week. I'm going to sit pretty with the rest of it. Interested to see if you have anything that you want to purchase going into this card or anything you want to sell.
I've got some moves to make this week, Luck. Which actually, and for everybody in the chat, why we're starting to do this weekly is it makes more sense for us. We would kind of miss out on the off weeks. We wouldn't really have the chance to do all the things we wanted to do. We'd forget about a fight coming up, and we didn't have a show that week, so we never got a chance to remedy. We don't want to tweet all that info. We just figured we'll plug it in here. MRA in the chat, though. MR always. asking if we actually invest in Prediction Strike or if we're just doing it for the challenge. And that's a great question because we're actually discussing how we want to handle that moving forward. Right now, we're just doing it for the challenge. And both of us have noticed that there actually are some potential investment opportunities on this thing. So we
Absolutely.
may tweak the rule set moving forward and do something a little bit different with a little bit more investment capital involved. We're not quite sure yet. This is my
Oh, good
group
Lord.
here, and I just kind of
It's
want
a
to.
football team you got over there, Clint.
I've been spreading it around, Locke. No, I had a good week last week. Lots to go over here.
Sorry,
The
Clint. Before you
nod.
go on, before you go on,
Yeah,
just notice the amount of tabs my man has for Prediction Strike. Moves are about to be made, folks. Moves are about to be made. Lay it on us, Clint.
truth. So this is my guy, Dana Batkari.
Aye.
Unfortunately, didn't get the nod last week. I hung on to him thinking that maybe, he took this little dip after the knockout loss. I was thinking maybe he'd bounce back from that. Reality is, I've only lost about 29 cents on him. He was pretty cheap when I purchased him. Back to back losses, it'll do that to you. But I think he's coming back. So I'm going to hang on to him. I think he's going to win his next fight. He'll probably get a much softer matchup. Andre Fialho, kind of the same situation. Lost a big chunk on this one. I'm pretty disappointed in that. I bet Jake Matthews. That was like my best bet last week. I really had a feeling Jake was going to pull this thing off. I did not anticipate the dip in value on Andre Fialho. I knew he was going to go down a bit. I didn't think it was going to be this drastic. So a little bit of a bummer, but another guy that I think is going to kind of climb on back after he recovers from that loss. The Ramona Pascual experiment luck is over. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sell. I thought if there was going to be a spot where she could show up and grind her way to a greasy win, it was going to be that one. That did not go as planned. I'm going to eat my loss on Ramona because I don't know if that stock's ever going up from that
Hey,
point. So I'll take
Clint.
it.
In regards to your
However,
last two stocks,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just happens.
Oh, the man was queued up and ready to go. I love it. I love it. All right. So Jack Della, nice little return on that one. I'm pretty happy I swooped in and snagged myself some Jack Della. Got a nice little 16% profit boost up there. Josh Kulibau, who I didn't end up betting, luck. I chickened out and I passed on the fight. He gets the win. The stock goes up though. I'll take it.
Beautiful call.
I'll take it. This week, like you mentioned, I've got Guram Kutataladze. I just kind of wanted to run through the fighters that I've got on the card
Yep.
here real quick. It's a spot where this is my ride or die guy. Like he's coming out of the North Mountains, a complete wild man, talking about being born in war. Like if there's ever somebody who's going to derail your guy, it's going to be this guy. And I think he's massively underrated. His 2 UFC fight run speaks to the type of confidence the UFC has in him, the level of opponents he's getting right now. So if he's healthy, I think he's going to be competitive. I bought his stock a long time ago. Even though he's not got the softest opponent, I see no point in selling him. I'm going to ride it. Let's see if he can get it done on Saturday. Because if he gets it done on Saturday, I think he's probably going up from there. So that one may bite me. We'll find out. I've got Kevin Holland. He's in action here. Looking forward to that one. I'm expecting it to go up. I bought him a while ago. And I think I'm going to go ahead and snag my guy, Mr. Duran Winlock. I
Ooh.
just made a bet on this man, so I'm picking up the stock and I am betting him this week. I'm just the biggest Phil Hawes hater on the planet. I don't like the guy's gas tank. I think he's got some quit in him. He's got some durability concerns. And if y'all missed it, my guy Duran went out to train with none other than Habib for this one. So he was already like a wrestle first type of fighter. I know Phil Hawes has got that takedown defense, but if anybody is going to be able to sharpen up that takedown offense of Duran Win, it's going to be a guy like Khabib. So I do think he eventually gets to the legs of Phil Hawes, and with that questionable cardio, with that questionable gas tank, I think he can chip away and start taking over that fight, win a greasy decision for me. And then after that, maybe we go up a little higher. We'll see what happens. I might be buying and selling on that one pretty
Ooh.
quick. I'm going to snag me some Albert Durayev this week, Luck.
Sneaky.
I think that's a good price, man. $1.03. You kidding me? I like this guy. I'm going to find a way to get some betting action on him this week. Another spot where I think Buckley's basically always been kind of an overhyped guy. We've seen
Yeah.
Durayev can fill in some of the gaps here where he's got some weaknesses. I think his wrestling can be a big piece of this. Worry a little bit about the gas tank if this thing goes on a little bit long, but I think his gas tank will last or outlast Buckley's gas tank, if nothing else. And then the last move that I want to make is unless you already have a share, I don't think you do. I'm going to snag me some Mr. Kyle Dawkins. The Dawkins brothers are my new favorite sibling pair in the UFC these days, Locke. I think both these guys are extremely talented. I do think he should get the win here over Dolidze this week. Not expecting it to be overly easy, but I do think he's got a lot of upside. This is one of those ones where even if I do end up eating a loss when it comes to Saturday's fight, this kid's not going anywhere. He's improving. He's already got a solid minimum bar as far as his skill set is concerned. So I think that stock is going to be one that goes up moving forward from here.
How many guys do you have? Jesus.
I don't have a lot of money left, Locke. Like, so
that's what I was going to ask you. Like, how much time left?
Anybody, that doesn't know what we're doing here. We both started with a $50 bankroll for the Fighter Stonks challenge. And, we are seeing at the end of the year who's going to have more money investing over the course of a full calendar year in the MMA realm. Like, I have got $3.60 left to my name here. The rest of it is all invested. Locke is kind of being a little more picky pokey, finding his spots here. And for me, I'm just going machine gun style. I'm investing in all these fighters who I think have some upside, trying to, rack up 2-3 wins over the course of the year. We'll see whose strategy pans out by the end of the season. Maybe Locke playing it a little safer might get the win. I'm hoping that I can be right more than I'm wrong, have some of these stocks roll up, and the volume is going to be what gets it done. But we'll compare numbers in a couple months.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tinkering the rules of this as well. Obviously, we've gotten it to the point where we only buy one stock per fighter, and I can't buy a stock if you have a stock. But we'll tinker it for 2023. As of now, this is just more so our feeling out period, right? Prediction Strike was pretty much brand new to us as well when we started this podcast. So we're finding the dips and the peaks and all that, trying to see how the stonks move. Depending on the fighter news or the result of their fight, all that. So more so a feeling
dumping right after a fight.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That seems to be the main thing a lot of people are doing here. A couple questions I just quickly want to answer here before we get out. Elijah Dream asking if I'm going to buy any NBA stonks. Again, I'm not much of an NBA guy nowadays anymore, but gotta believe you gotta buy some stock at Scotty Barnes, the Raptors sophomore player going into this next year. Now, I believe he won Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken, so might be a good guy to buy some stock in. Also, Mr. Always Profit asking, is this a weekly show or every 2 weeks? So every other week we're doing it on my channel, just this segment. But on the other weeks, we're going to be doing it on the Deadlock podcast. It's one of our segments during the Deadlock podcast. Again, the link to that channel is in the description below. So we do pretty much do Fighter Stonks every single week. But this is a way for us to do Fighter Stonks every week as well for you guys. So please do check out the Deadlock podcast. We'll be back with a full episode next week, recapping UFC Austin, and obviously looking forward to all the other big news and things coming on. Rexy asking what time is Propping You Up. Propping You Up is 9 p.m. tonight on the All Stars channel, so make sure you guys go check that out. All right.
I'll be tuning in.
I know you will. I love seeing your avatar in there. And I know it's you. I know it's not none of these fakes that people like to do every now and then. I know it's you in there for sure. Yeah,
you can always tell I'm too goofy. Like, people can't imitate me, Locke. That's the best part. Like, you can tell right away if it's me or not.
Is he being self-deprecating, or is he just being a shithead? If he's a shithead, then it's not Clint at all.
Exactly.
So I didn't make any moves. Pretty much, I just did a Demir's Magulov. That's the only stock that I bought today. Hopefully, he's able to rise a little bit and plummet that stock on Gurum Kutateladze that Clint currently holds on to. Anything you want to say on the way out here, Clint? I want to wrap this thing up.
We are Georgia.
This is Georgia.
Dude, did you watch the video they did for him? The behind the scenes, like, bro, go check it out. It's good. It's good. It's high quality. The music's slick.
Oh God, I can't wait to see that.
It's good stuff.
He does look like I think his nickname is the Georgian Viking or something like that. Good guy. I just finished that show, The Last Kingdom, the other night, and that's got me all Vikinged up. So maybe I should be cheering for Durham this weekend. Exactly. Well, we'll see that. All right. I appreciate everybody checking this out. Again, these check-ins are only 10 to 15 minutes long, looking at our portfolios, buying or selling if we need to in anticipation for the next event. But the Deadlock Podcast full episode will return next week on the Deadlock Podcast channel. Again, links are in the description below. Make sure you guys go subscribe over there so that you guys can catch us when we go live. Again, it's going to be next Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, I'm sorry to do this to you, Clint, but War Demir Ismagulov. Let's go. A lot riding on that fight this week. Let's see how that goes. I think we're head to head on that in the Deadlock duel as well, if I'm not mistaken. So
lots riding this week, Locke.
Lots riding on that fight. Make sure you guys go check that out. All right. Appreciate you guys. Again, use a promo code LOCK on PredictionStrike. Free fighter stock with a deposit of $20 or more. Buy some Demir Ismagulov stock. Trust me, it'll be very fruitful for you guys. We'll see you guys next week.